We're going to go ahead and get started. I do have a little introduction, so I'm going to read my script. I'm so glad you could join us today. My name is Kimberly Way, and I'm the Director of Training at the Michigan Works Association. I'm going to be your moderator for the webinar today. Today's webinar is titled Pure Michigan Talent Connect for Administrators, so I hope you're in the right room. Our presenter today is Tangi Jones from the state of Michigan, Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. Tangi is active in our MIS user group with the association, so I'm really excited to have her here and that she committed to share her knowledge with us this afternoon. Please feel free to ask questions during the presentation via the chat box. We will do our best to address questions during the presentation if they're relevant to the content, so you do not have to wait until the end of the webinar. However, we will have questions and answers at the end if they are more general questions. We continue to add to our event and training calendar, so please check the website for rescheduled dates and new training opportunities. And with that, I will turn it over to Tangi.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Is it up, Kim?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So thank you everyone for coming today. I really appreciate it. I hope you will find the information I'm sharing valuable. Share it with your coworkers and colleagues if they have questions and weren't able to make it today. I will be going over the website, and there is no like PowerPoint or anything like that. This is really a way for you to be able to kind of dive deep into the website, into the Pure Michigan Talent Connect admin functions. And then also if you have any questions about anything that we've changed on the website, please let me know. This being interactive is perfectly fine. And I know that Kim will do a good job about, you know, either jumping in if it's something I'm working on immediately, or sort of leaving those questions to the end, and then I can also go over those. So I'm going to try to go through the process. This is being recorded, so I'm going to turn off my camera because I do have a camera right in front of me, but I have two screens above me, and it probably doesn't look good for me to be looking up and down. So I'm going to turn off my camera, and then we'll get started.
What?
So the first thing that I
Angie,
kind
it
of
looks like we lost your screen.
Did you lose the screen? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. Is that working?
There we go. Yep, we can see that now.
I am so sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the website. And I know we've made a lot of changes to the website, especially since March, that you may not be completely sure what we did. And so I want to kind of go through those things and give you a little background on maybe some of the changes we made, how things, you know, appear on the website now, go over some things that you may have seen go away. And if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to ask them. So here on the homepage, we're just on Pure Michigan Talent Connect, mytalent.org. You're going to see employers hiring now and newest jobs. We added those back in March, towards the end of March, as a way to feature some of the COVID-19 jobs that were most in demand and needed to hire right away. As time has gone on, the jobs that you're seeing are being pulled in by in-demand ONET codes. So you won't always see jobs here unless they fall under that in-demand ONET code, or unless they check off that COVID-19 box when they're posting a job. So there isn't really a way to feature jobs anymore, but if employers want to end up on this front screen, this home screen, they either fall into that category of ONET codes that were already pre-chosen, or they can select the COVID-19 checkbox when they are posting a job. And then eventually this will rotate throughout the day. Actually, it updates quite often. So they're not just going to be here all day, but this updates often. And at some point, they will probably end up under employers hiring now or newest jobs. The other thing that I wanted to make you aware of, a lot of people might have heard that we had a form that you could fill out for immediate job openings. And that was during the when COVID-19 first hit. We had this setup where individuals that needed to post something right away and didn't have an account with us would be able to post their job. And that's how they were ending up on the home screen originally. And this is the form right here. It has 3 pages. And once that form is submitted, it actually goes into a mailbox for Pure Michigan Talent Connect. And once it's in that mailbox, it has to be approved. And then once that is approved, then it will show up in the homepage, and also, and that takes me to the job portal, the COVID-19 job portal. This is not something separate from, our search box that we have. This is something that kind of supports it or adds to it. And here you have 11,000, COVID-19 jobs. And these are individuals who have either filled out that form, intake form, or selected COVID-19 when they did their job posting. And so those employers end up right here. And these jobs are still posted to Pure Michigan Talent Connect. They just have a different look and feel for this page. And as you can see, once you click apply now, you go straight to what you normally see when a job is searched through our search engine. So this is kind of just a landing page for them, an initial landing page to give some very overall information. You can search by keyword. You can do match an exact phrase. So if I type this out, Iron County Medical Care Facility, and I click match exact phrase, it will just pull up anything with Iron County Medical Care Facility. So we did separate out the portal to be able to show healthcare jobs. So these are, once again, ONET codes that were pre-selected by our healthcare. I think it was someone in the Department of Health and Human Services. They selected the ONET codes, and then we were able to pull the jobs that are in Pure Michigan Talent Connect based on those ONET codes. And then here you're going to see, you'll be able to go and search for all of the jobs in Pure Michigan Talent Connect. So it just takes you to that search there. And I don't think I have, I'm going to try to pull up the chat. So just.
We don't have any questions yet, Tangi.
Okay, so something that I also want you to be able to have information on is exactly who sort of manages. I get a lot of questions, who manages what when it comes to Pure Michigan Talent Connect. We have MITC that's kind of inside Pure Michigan Talent Connect. There's been some division of it. We have the Talent Fund, the Pure Michigan, the or the Going Pro Talent Fund. We have, I don't know if there's, and we have the talent dashboard where people, where you can work with people who have my login accounts. So for all of those, I am going to at least put the first two contacts, and that's for the Leo PMTC mailbox, and I manage Pure Michigan Talent Connect. And then you have the MITC mailbox, and that program is managed by Natalie Taylor and Jenny Spalding. I wanted to put these up because you may not, you may have some sort of direction on who handles contacts directly to our agency, but I still want you to be aware of who is managing those programs, and if you needed to reach us directly, how you would be able to do that, or if you're working with a job seeker or an employer and they need to reach us directly, how you would do that. So I just put that information in the chat. I typed that up before we started, so I just wanted to make sure you have that. And if there's any questions about that as well, we can cover that. So the first thing I want to do is go through sort of what roles we have in Pure Michigan Talent Connect for our MWA admins. And we have one role is the Michigan Works admin user role. And we have 584 individuals that have that role in the Michigan Works system. We have Michigan Works users, that is one role, and there are 85 people in Michigan Works that have that role. And then we have 52 Michigan Works security admins. And we have in the Michigan Works organization. I provided a list of those admins, and I know that file is going to be shared with you, but I also shared that file in the chat prior to the meeting, and I'm going to try to, I don't know if everyone got that, but I will make sure, I know they're going to send it out at the end of the meeting. But the Michigan Works security admins, I get this question a lot as well. If you need to make any changes to your account, that is managed by your individual Michigan Works. The security admins have been given certain privileges and rights within their roles to be able to make those changes and updates to your account. So when I say changes and updates, if you need an account created, the Michigan Works account or any of the Michigan Works admin accounts created, you would talk to your Michigan Works security administrator. If you need to activate your account, you would talk to your Michigan Works security administrator. If you need to make any changes to your account level, your email address, your phone number, where you, any of your address, things like that, update your password, all of that can be done by your Michigan Works security admin. The only thing that they aren't able to do is if you change from one location or one MWA, say you go from Great Lakes Bay to Upward Michigan Works, I need to be able to go in and make the change to your account so that only the security admin for Upward Michigan Works, where you go to, can see your account information. So only the Michigan Works security admins for that specific organization. So if it's Great Lakes Bay, they can see all of Great Lakes Bay, but they aren't able to see Upward, for example. So your Michigan Works security admin, I have a lot of people send me emails throughout the day and they'll say, I need my password changed. My account is deactivated. I'm sorry. I need to update my email address or my maiden name. All that can be done by your Michigan Works security admins. So that is the most current list as of today. If you don't see anyone from your organization on there, you can reach out to me. I have sent emails out to a couple of organizations because those roles are decided by the individual organization who takes on those roles. So we don't determine that as well. But if you need to make those changes, please reach out to your security admin first, because it probably will be faster. And I know that you have a lot of work that you need to get done. So we want to make sure that you're getting that information as quickly as possible, or getting things done as quickly as possible, so that you can move forward. So that's kind of some overall stuff that I wanted to kind of cover and make sure you had. I'm going to go back into the website and show you some other really quick changes that we've made. I would encourage you to review the page. A lot of our previous pages have been moved to our michigan.gov website. Some of our veteran pages, and as you can see, there's an icon that shows you you're going off the site. We also have, Pathfinder has always been on a different site. The MAT2 program has moved to a different area. So when you see this little icon, you know that you're leaving our website. A lot of the skilled trades information is moved. So if for some reason you click on that and there's a broken link, just let us know. But that information has moved to our michigan.gov page. Another thing that I wanted to let you know about, if you have individuals that are trying to reach, so Zelta, John, and myself are the individuals that work on PMTC, and John is on today with us. We have individual cell phones that our contact center, our customer contact center can contact us, and so we can call out if we need to work with people. But what we would like you to do is contact our customer contact center if you need to reach us, and they will transfer you. One of the reasons that works really well is if I'm off work one day and calls are coming into my phone directly, but I'm not there, you might not get what you need right away if it's like an emergency and something needs to get done. So we always send everybody through the customer contact center. Their hours are 8 to 12 and 1 to 5, and they will transfer you to us. If we're not able to answer our phones right away, sometimes we're on meetings or doing other things, we just leave a message and then we can contact you back. So usually that's within a 24-hour period. Most times it's less than that. Something else that I wanted to say, it just came to me, is that we have with the email box, the Leo -talent connect at michigan.gov. That is the PMTC mailbox. That is our general mailbox. I want to let everybody know that that mailbox is usually always cleared out way before 5 o'clock every day. We do not have things that just sit over unless they come in late on a Friday night. And they may sit over into Monday morning, but we do not have emails just sitting in our email box, for days. That box is cleared usually before 5 o'clock every day. So if you're sending an email there and you never get a response, please let us know, because we are literally answering those emails as they come in and clearing that box every single day. So there isn't anything that should be sitting in that box on a normal basis. Just to go over something real quick in terms of changes that we've made to the site. Recently, we made the search career events page look a little bit different, or maybe I would say a lot different. We have changed sort of, how the page is set up. It used to be just a list view. Now we've added some sort of decoration to it and moved some things around, but we're hoping that this will be a lot more beneficial for individuals that need to use this page. We thought it was important because we are getting a lot of virtual events, in-person events, a mix of both. And there were a lot of kind of updates that were made to this page over time. So since March up until now, we've made actually quite a few updates. But this is kind of the biggest overall update where we actually changed how the page looks. And I just wanted to go through a couple of things just so you know how it works. So here now you can search by career event, you can search by city or zip code. You can search, I think I might have clicked the search, sorry. I'm gonna go back to that page. So here you can search by date. These are drop downs. You can't go before, you can't pick a date before, the date that we're currently on. And here it allows you only to pick dates going forward. So you can pick dates. We still have our description of what upcoming events are. We have some of our events on this front page. I'm going to tell you there is no rhyme or reason to, it's just the most recent events that may be in the system that pop up on this page. So no, there is no way to get featured on the front page for this, for upcoming events. It's kind of just like what's being posted most recent is what's going to show up on this page. We still have where you submit your career event. If you have an upcoming career event, you make your request here. This will take you to our contact us page that I just showed you so that people know how to contact us. But here, if you click request now, you are filling in the event request form. I just want to go over some really quick stuff on this form that we've kind of updated. Here we have a drop-down menu. You can still type in dates, but you now have that drop-down menu available to you. We have the start time and event of a date, but what's really cool about this is that I would have to add one, but you can add an additional date here. And it will let you add up to 5 consecutive dates in 1 week. So they have to be consecutive dates, but you can add 5 dates to, if there is one event and it's going on for an entire week, you can add 5 consecutive dates on this form. This event form can be submitted in person for an in-person career event, a virtual career event, or both. A lot of times people are having both in-person and virtual events. If you are, you can submit that and it will show up and I'll go back and show you how it looks on our forms. We also added this drop down. You can see what are required fields. It's not required, but we had some of our MWAs that were doing the virtual job fair. So we wanted to have that as a, ability for the MWAs to put that in there and select their MWA if they like. There is a web URL. I'm going to go just to virtual really quick. If you have a virtual event, you can actually put that virtual event link here. So even though you can put the web link for your website or company here, or if something else that you'd like to put here for people to go to, your virtual event link would go here. Another thing that we added is that you can put a file. If you'd like to, you can add a file to or event flyer to your event. We review those just to make sure that, you know, things are appropriate. We can remove those flyers from your event, but we cannot upload those. That is something that we leave totally to the individual that's submitting the event. If for some reason you have an event up, you submitted the wrong flyer, you'll have to resubmit a new event, but we can deactivate your previous event posting. So please feel free to contact us. Let us know that you no longer want us to use that event, and we will make sure to remove your previous event, and then you can upload a completely new event form. So I'm going to go back here because I think it's important to kind of get a view of what this looks like. So when you click on view event details here, you're going to get sort of a slide out screen. It's going to give you all the information for the event. If there are any links, those will be available. This happens to be a virtual event. We've added a map. So I think this will be helpful for individuals because we do have pins. If there's an address, if it's a virtual event, we are just having it sit off to the side of the map because it will not have a pin unless it's virtual and in person. We did give a description of what a virtual event is here so that people will know kind of what they're getting into when they select to attend a virtual event. So that information is here. You also have these, what are called little cards, and for each event, it gives you the date, the time, and what type of event it is. I was gonna see if we had, here we have it in person. Here's one of the multi-day events. So if your event goes for multiple days, when I was saying that you could do 5 consecutive dates, here is a multi-day event and what it looks like. And here it is on the map. And then if you click on these icons here, you can see our in-person job fairs that have addresses actually are located on the map with a little pin, a location pin. You can also, so this is a list view. You can do a calendar view. And if you click on the date, it'll tell you there are 4 events that day. If they are in person, then they're going to show up on the map. If they're virtual, they won't show up on the map until you click the view details. And then that will show up as in the corner of the map. You can also do a map view. What you're going to see is the last thing that you searched, and then you'll see just the pins and the map. You can do virtual. Now, virtual events will not show up on the map, so you'll see that kind of crossed out. You can select, unselect in-person events and just have virtual. You can select in-person and deselect virtual, and it'll show you. Here you can also reset this, and it'll reset it back to all of the events that are in the system right now. So I wanted to go over that really quick because that is something that was an update that we made, and I wanted to make sure people understood it. We are still working on the optimization of that. It seems to be moving pretty quickly. We've been working on that. So if you're ever having any issues, timeout issues, or anything like that, please let us know. And we will, we're going to continue to work on making sure that works optimal for all those that are using it. So I'm going to go back to the home screen. Go ahead.
We have a quick question, sorry. Has the job seeker's workplace changed recently?
Job seekers workplace, can they expound on that? I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Yeah, Jennifer, I don't know if you want to come off mute and ask or
Yeah,
put
that's
it in
fine.
the chat.
Yeah, I was talking to a job seeker the other day. He was on his account page where he can, track the jobs he's applied to. He can do a search. He can upload his resume. So that's kind of what it used to be called workplace. On the job seeker drop-down tab.
Here?
Yeah, click on job seeker home, I think. No, that's not it. When they sign into their account, they actually have a workplace.
Oh, the workspace. I can go in, let me write that down, and I will go into a job seeker account. I plan to do that anyway, so I'm going to go into a job seeker account later really quickly, and I can answer that. Yes, it's the workspace. Yes, that is still there. I wanted to go over that because we made a change in there that I wanted people to see, so I will go in and answer that question when we're in that account. Thank you for that question. So I am going to start with our Michigan Works admin users. That is the majority of the individuals that are probably on the call. That's 584 of the Michigan Works organization. So I'm going to go into an account that is a Michigan Works admin account. So you can see, we can work in that account. So you can see kind of exactly what you're seeing every day versus working in an account you're familiar with. So if you are a Michigan Works admin role user, and Michigan Works admin is a user role, that's what it's called in PMTC. That's the way it's assigned to you by security admins. So when an account is created for you, you are assigned the Michigan Works admin user role. If you have that role, this is what your administration page looks like. You have your account information, you can job seeker search, you can employer search, job search, post a job. You have a dashboard when you post a job that looks similar to an employer dashboard where you can manage the jobs, the jobs that you post. You have the reports section and you have the email archive. So let's just go quickly through what is here. In your account, in my account, this is your account information. This is the admin association. Admin test, MWA admin test. This is your email address. So this is all of your information that is input for your account. Job seekers. So here you can do a job seeker search. I have had quite a few different people reach out to me and ask me, because they're doing virtual career fairs, how can I send an email blast out to individuals in a certain occupation? Here is where you can put together that search. And these are all the search parameters that you have. So you can search by address, email, name, county, MWA. You have ONET codes. all of these things are areas where you can search for job seekers. One thing that I want to tell you is that the more that you click off, the more that you're, in terms of parameters, the more that you're narrowing your search. So if you're looking for nurses, I would probably, start with the ONET code. And then if you're looking for experience, go from there to try to build on that. But I think it's really, really important that you really understand what you're looking for. And then you can start to narrow down based on what type of search return that you get. So for example, if I am looking for nurse practitioners, I don't know if we have any, but we will. That's another thing when we do big searches. It could take a little while to find individuals. So if you know that it's going to return like hundreds and hundreds of people, just give it a little bit of time. So what you're going to see here is there were 44 job seekers found that met that requirement. So I see here, this is the city and state. You can click any of these here and it will rearrange all of the results by city and state, or my login ID or email address or zip code, from A to Z. So you can rearrange this information if you'd like to by what you actually need. Here is a detailed view of each of those search results so that you can kind of get an idea of when they last logged in, and maybe what ONET code they have in addition to what you searched for, that kind of thing. So you can get kind of an overview of the candidates. I'm sorry, here you can also email the candidate to yourself, or you can email the candidate and it emails right from our system. So if you would like to email the candidate from the system, you can do that, or you can email yourself the candidate's information, and you would just select here, or you can select all candidates here. Here is that little pencil, and so I'm going to go back. Oops. Sorry. Let's see if it'll take us back. Okay. So here is this pencil here is how you can go in and make edits to a job seeker account. This is the same for employers, just so you kind of know that up front, that pencil is there. Because we do have the connection with my login, you are going to find that there's information you cannot change for that individual. They can only change, the job seeker can only change this information in my login. And that's because it is the central location for that information. So we pull that information in when they set up an account, but they cannot change that information here, and you cannot change that information here. What you can change are the areas that you see here, which are the address, phone, job level, education, a lot of the information that they fill out once they set up their account within PMTC. So any information pulled over from my login cannot be changed. You would not be able to change that, but any other information that has open fields, you will be able to do that. You can save changes. We do not have activate and deactivate account here because there were accounts can only be active and deactivated within my login. They shouldn't be activated and deactivated here. I think our security admins have that ability, and of course our staff have that ability if something needs to be done. But because of my login, which is available 365 days before it deactivates. So I'll say that again, my login accounts deactivate after 365 days of non-use. So you get an entire year. That takes precedence over the PMTC account. So we don't want accounts to be activated and deactivated within PMTC. So that is not available here for you to do, but you can make any of the updates for the fields that you see are available. Something else you can also access, and I won't click on a lot of things because it'll take us off into branches, but just to make note, if you, a lot of you are my login admins, and you assist individuals with changing passwords and information like that. The very top information that you see that's kind of that you can't access, that my login button will take you to my login, so you can log into the my login system and make those changes if you aren't already logged in. So I just wanted to let you know that that button does take you to my login if you need to make any changes to a job seeker account. Something else that I wanted to kind of tell you about the job search feature. You do have a lot of job seekers who do not want to be viewable by employers. The thing about being an admin is that you get to see everything. You don't usually have any restrictions on what information is sent back to you in terms of results unless you check something off. So I always encourage anyone that is an admin in doing a job seeker search, you may want to see everybody that has access or selected a certain code or something like that in your parameters. However, if you are sharing this information with employers, you need to make sure that you're checking this box to exclude job seekers who have selected not to be viewable or searchable by employers. We don't want anyone being contacted if they are not interested in being contacted. So if you are working with an employer and you are looking for job seekers for them, I ask that you please make sure that you are checking that box before you conduct your search so that your results are bringing back information that the employers can actually use and there's no issues with that person being contacted. The search results that are being brought back are the last 90 days that that person has logged into PMTC. If you want to go beyond that, you can. You just need to make sure also that you're changing these parameters. So those are two areas that I really encourage people to make sure that they're checking that box and then making sure that they know that their search is returning just the last 90 days of login. And what I'm doing with the job seeker is going to look very much like the employer. So I'll move through that quickly, but if you want me to slow down at any point, let me know if I'm moving too quickly. So you can change your display 25, 50, 100. I think there were 44. So if I move to 50, it would display all of the results on one page. But one thing that you can do, especially if you are looking for a list of individuals, nurse practitioners here, that actually you want to maybe send email out to an email blast, or you may want to contact them or you may want to share their resume or some information with an employer, you can export these results to Excel. And if you're working with an employer and you know exactly what they're looking for, you can manipulate this Excel sheet to send them just the information they need. You can download the resumes just by clicking on, if you see the Word and PDF files here, you can download those resumes and the employers. You can download in both Excel and a PDF format. You can print the profile. And when I say print profile, I'm going to go back up here really quick. And that looks sort of like what that detail view is. And you can also save your search. And this will show up it should show up in your dashboard. And we'll go there and kind of go through that. But it should save on your dashboard in your saved searches. So you can save this search if you need to go back or you're doing these searches on a regular basis. You can save searches and name them. So I get a lot of questions about, pulling lists and things like that. You have this ability as an MWA admin. You can pull these lists, you can manipulate them, save them to your desktop, take information. You can delete lists, share what it is that you need to. If you want to share this with an employer, like I said, be careful what information you're sharing. Make sure you're sharing people who want to be viewed by. But this is available to you, or say you just want to do an email blast. Whatever your mode of sending an email out, you'll be able to do it. I've got a few requests from people who want emails out to individuals to attend the virtual job fairs. You guys have access to this. It would probably be quicker for you to be able to have access than wait for me if you need it done right away. But that's up to you. But I just wanted to let you know that that is available, definitely available for you. We'll go through a few of the other buttons we have here. And there's so much to cover, but based on time, I'm going to try to go through things quickly, especially that employer search, because it acts similar to the job seeker search. Here again, this is what you have available. If you have an employer and you know what that name is of the employer, you can put it here. There's a drop down and you can select the employer. If for some reason you're not sure of the email account, you can delete this and still do a search. It'll bring up, the employers that have Walmart as their name without that employer. If you leave in that email address, it will only pull up that individual, just so you know that. And then these are all the other parameters, of course, way less than job seeker. But, email is important to have with the employer name. But if you're not really sure, you can still pull up the information for all of the employers with that employer name. The other thing that you might need to know is that if you look at this little bar and you scroll over these bars, you'll see these are not active accounts. So if you click on them, you'll see you can't, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back in. So if you click on this pencil, so this is a activate, deactivate. If you click on this pencil here, you'll see here, MWA test admin user activated, MW test admin user deactivated. This was changed. You should not be able to do this. That's why I was clicking on it, but it looks like there's something that's an error in the system. So in your level, your role shouldn't be able to activate or deactivate accounts. And so we'll have to fix that part of it. It looks like that didn't get fixed, but here is also an area for activate and deactivate. You won't be able to do that. So I wanted to touch on this, and I didn't know that that was an error. So I apologize about that, but you cannot deactivate and activate employer roles within, or employer accounts within this role. So that will be fixed. If you have to have an account activated that's deactive, or vice versa, you would reach out to the Leo-Talent Connect at michigan.gov. Again, if you need an employer account activated or deactivated, you will need to reach out to Leo-Talent Connect at michigan.gov. We would really like the employer to reach out from the email address that they register the account with. That's how we would prefer that it be set up. However, if for some reason you are working with the employer, you can reach out to us. Again, we want you to reach out to Leo-Talent Connect at michigan.gov. I know you may be thinking, if I'm not able to activate and deactivate accounts, what if I create an employer account? That will not cause any issues with that. When you create an employer account within the admin role that we're in right now, when you create an employer account, you will be just fine. That account will automatically activate. So you don't have to worry about that. These are for accounts that have already been approved, and if they need to be activated or deactivated, again, you would contact Leo-Talent Connect at michigan.gov. I apologize, we did not catch that wasn't work, that is working these here. So we will make sure that is fixed, but you won't have access to that. Again, here is the edit. If you need for some reason to look for or to make any changes to an employer's account, you would again click the pencil, just like if you're working with a job seeker. I want to see, there's a question that I always get, and I'm going to go into this employer's account here. So if you can see, I went into the edit, and that's the pencil. I came down to this employer's email address and I copied it. So I'm going to use that for something that I'm going to sort of segue into being in this employer's account that's active, and explain some things about account validation. I get a lot of emails about account validation. When, and maybe this was a migrated account, but when an account is going through the validation process, so you have an employer that signed up for an account, or you signed an employer up for an account, you're going to have notes that are on that employer's account. When you click that little edit pencil, you have access to those notes. I want you to know that if you have this user role, you have this access. You cannot change user notes, but you can add notes, and you can see the notes that are put in. Zelta Little is the person that does majority of our validations. John also does a great amount of those validations, but you'll probably see Zelta on there a lot more, and you'll see notes on the account based on what is needed from the employer or whether the employer activated the account, that kind of thing. So here you're going to see notes of everything that kind of has gone on with that account system. You can review those notes if you're working with an employer to give them more information on what's needed from them. Because we'll get a lot of emails saying, well, what, this employer hasn't been activated. What do they need to do? You can see that information right here on this page in the notes section. If you want to know whether an employer, what their status is, you can see if they've been approved. You can see if they're active or inactive. So the first step in an employer creating accounts is, yes, Vicki, I will cover reports. Absolutely. I am going to try to move quickly through these. The first step is that employer needs to activate their account. If you're setting the account up for the employer, it will automatically activate, and you'll see that here. If the employer has clicked on the link that they were sent, you'll see whether they clicked on that link. It'll be active if they did, inactive if they haven't. So I wanted you to be able to see this because I get a lot of questions about what's going on with an account. Now you can go in and see that information for yourself and be able to kind of talk and work with the employer on exactly what's going on. I was going to try to see if I could find an account that had maybe more notes on it. I'm not sure that I'm going to find, but here I'm going to go in, I'm going to copy this email address. This is something that you can do. We're going to return to our search screen, and I'm going to show you, well, actually we'll need to go back to our administration main page. And if you go here to email archive is the button, and you click here and paste that email address and do a search. Any emails that were sent from the system will show up. And that's what I'm sorry, I didn't pick an account, but any emails that are sent from the system will show up in those search results. And I'll try to find an account that we could possibly go through, but this is the area where you would be able to look up the email that we send out for the link and the email that we send out when we're requesting additional information like EIN information. So I just wanted to show you that. So you're able to look up if we have said that we need more EIN information, that email is in the email archive. Just take that person's email address and plug it in, and you will be able to review that information. Here, I know most people know this is where you can create an employer account if you're an employer, if you want to do that for the employer, and you can make that active and save the changes. This is usually, I don't get many questions about this, so I won't go through this, but most people understand this is where you can actually set up an employer account. Here is where you can do a job search. You can search for job codes that haven't posted yet. As most people know, when you post a job, there's a 24-hour hold. It's a veterans hold. It's a federal requirement. So veterans can see anyone that is designated themselves a veteran when they set up their account will be able to see those jobs 24 hours prior to the general public. So when you put a job code number in here, you'll be able to, search for that. Or when you do a search, jobs that have that 24-hour hold because you are an admin will show up in your results as well. There are a lot of parameters to do a job search. So I just kind of, heed that concept of making sure that you choose those parameters that are most important first, get your list, and then kind of break down additional filters based on what you are actually looking for. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna go back to our administration main page. Here is our post a job. Again, most people know how this works. Here, this is a drop-down field. You have to choose. These are hard-coded into the system. You have to choose from one of these. So you want to make sure you have the right email address associated with that employer. I've had that happen as well. People chose Walmart, but not the right email address connected to that account. Here, it is a required field, but you can put anything you'd like here. So if it's Walmart, UP, you can put that here. And zip code of where the actual job is located, or you can choose whatever the employer put into the system. I get a lot of questions about my job will not post, it will not submit. If you are copying and pasting into any of these fields, you run the risk of copying and formatting. And if you copy in, it will not allow you to move forward with posting a job. So if you're getting that error, if you're copying and pasting, you either need to remove the formatting or you need to type the information. So remove the formatting prior to, and there are things, you have Notepad, you have some other things online that will remove the formatting from the actual information that you're wanting to post, and then you can paste it here. Or like I said, you could type it in. I would suggest typing it, but if you're copying and pasting into any of these fields and you get errors, it is probably because there's some formatting in what you have put into those fields. This is the COVID-19 checkbox. This is also, it's like the intake form. So if an employer is a small business, they don't really post with us a lot, they don't need an account, that intake form might make sense for them. Say they're a daycare, they don't hire very much, and they don't really need an account with us.